on, do the thing. Hey, fixed. Alright, we're back. What's the trailer? Let's find out what the trailer is. Oh, it's Lego Harry Potter. Why did they give that baby glasses? I've only done the first 2 levels. I think I've only done the first level of Lego Harry Potter 1. I really played it. Harry Potter's not a franchise I'm overly interested in. Not anymore, anyway. Maybe 15 years ago. Anyway, we are back with LEGO Star Wars 3: The Clone Wars. I had the thought of, like, we've been opening with the Clone Wars intro for every Star Wars stream. And I've had no Clone Wars games actually scheduled, because most of them aren't good. I was like, maybe we should do one. So I very quickly downloaded LEGO Star Wars 3. And now we're going to play it. Fun fact, the most experience I have with LEGO Star Wars 3 in particular is a few years ago when we took a look at it on stream. I haven't really played much of this. From what I'm aware, this goes through most of the episodes of seasons 1 and 2 of the Clone Wars TV series. So there's that. I'm quite interested in doing this, actually. I've been interested in playing it for a while. Because... Stop. Button. Because I've been quite interested in doing this because I didn't really enjoy LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, which changed a lot of what the LEGO games were doing, and I found it really repetitive. And like just running back and forth between locations. And I have no interest in playing LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens. So this would be potentially the last LEGO Star Wars game I would be interested in with the more advanced gameplay. It's worth remembering that LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga was the 3rd LEGO game of this style. So there were advancements after that, and this would be the most advanced of the old style before Skywalker Saga changed everything. I'm quite interested. So if you're listening to the voices, you can hear that they've gotten the Clone Wars voice actors in for this, but they're not actually doing voices. Just the classic Lego game grunts. Oh hey, it's the Reek. The Acolyte. And the Nexu. That doesn't look like lipstick. Uh-oh. Oh, wonderful. This way. Goodbye, Anakin, you're on your own. Okay, Padme just has a whip. Goodbye, Anakin, you're on your own. Alright, we're all up top. Okay, we've just jumped back down. Use the Force, Anakin. Dun 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 dun. It sure is a choice to have this game start at the end of episode 2 and not like during the Clone Wars movie. Ba-dum. 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 That's what you get for not being made of Legos. Oh, now they're just gonna shoot us. Alright. It's Luminara! It's Adigalia! It's Duel of the Fates, oddly. Oh yeah, look at the big improvements they've made to this game. Look at how many droids are on screen now. Oh, this is chaotic. It's a shame there was never a Lego Star Wars Clone Wars 2. Because like the Clone Wars became such an interesting Star Wars property, but all the tie-in video games for it was specifically early on in the lifespan. No, Anakin, you're supposed to kill her for another 3 years. Come on. Padme, shoot him. Shoot him, Padme. Is it full circle that we were playing as Django earlier in this month, and now we're killing Django? Oof. That's surprisingly black humor. Mace Windu cuts off his head and they just start playing soccer with it. Look! Brah, brah. There it is. Brah, 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 brah. Ah, yeah. Okay, so what's that? It's Plo Koon, Ayla Secura, and Luminara Unduli. They're loaded up. Who needs to be in the next one? What's that? Adigalia Sasaitin. And I think that's Kit Fisto's apprentice from that one episode of Clone Wars. I don't remember what his name was. Grievous murdered him anyway. It was like the first time in the Clone Wars CG series that Grievous got to actually be menacing. Before that, he was really just kind of lame. A lame kids' cartoon villain. And what do we got? Kit Fisto. I don't know who the middle one is, and just a randomer for the third one. Bye-bye. I want it to be Kit Fisto. Turn around and get on the bloody gunship. Yeah, Yoda is too old for this shit. Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker, and Padme. See how this is looking on Twitch. Yeah, it seems like it's coming through fine. Alright, excellent. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da. onwards with the story. Meanwhile, on the invisible hand, Ugol the Lesser does nothing of value. So the way this game is presented is, like, really odd, because it's not just straightforward levels. Though the handheld versions are, oddly enough, the handheld versions are just like levels based on the episodes. This isn't. This one you just go to various battlefields and do events from various episodes, but not in a specific order. And it's odd. Where's R2? Genoshin Arena, which is why he's still got the green lightsaber. Admiral Yularen. Alright, where are we going? Yeah, so they've split into 3 locations. Geonosis, Stothis, and the Rusan Moon. Let's go back to Geonosis, though, since we're here. They should really open this up with, like, the proper Clone Wars intro. So, I'm pretty... Chasing down Count Dooku, I think this is, like, just continuing episode 2. Like, not actually the Clone Wars, just episode 2. Which is odd, because, like, if you wanted to go back to Geonosis for the game, there were episodes set on Geonosis. There we go. Mace Windu, Kit Fisto, and Kiadi-Mundi. Let's go. Playing as Kit Fisto. Okay, so the Techno Union ship seems shielded, so I'll need to destroy all these. There's a lot of them. Grab the studs. We need them to buy Admiral Yularen. Oh, cool, clone troopers. Right, that lightsaber really hunting down those 3 specific droids I targeted. Yeah, watch out for that spider droid. Go, Kit Fisto. Two. Boom. Fire at the Techno Union ship. Damn, this thing's got a fat ass. There we go, so we can lock onto something. It's good. Watch out for the spider droids. Uh-oh. That's not good, I was using that. Tell you what, collecting studs without the attract studs brick is always super tedious. Really wish you'd just start you off with it as standard. No, you've always got to unlock it by it. Yeah. You guys doing anything? No? Can I get another vehicle? Look at how cool Kit Fisto is. Don't worry, boys. I'll pilot this. Yeah, I'll take that one. Thank you. It has the gun that I like. Two down. I think we'll have to, like, walk inside those shields and manually shut them down. Right, so destroying the Techno Union ship takes longer, but is possible. It immediately destroys all the other buildings. Got it. Gotcha. I forget when exactly this came out. I feel like it was probably... It must have been before LEGO Batman 2, because LEGO Batman 2 was the first one that was like, we're gonna have full proper voice acting. And LEGO Harry Potter didn't have that. But I forget when exactly LEGO Batman 2 came out. Alright. Damn. Hey, one more round with this. Oh yeah, this is definitely much better. Do it with a vehicle. Easy to grab everything. Just one more area to focus our attack on. Kind of crazy there hasn't been like a big Clone Wars era video game. I feel like I mentioned this during Jedi Survivor maybe, but like feels like it'd be the best time to set a video game, probably. Or certainly at this point more interested in setting another video. Setting another video game during the rise of the Empire. Welcome in, Ninja. What do you think, Ninja? I want another vehicle. Shadows of the Empire? Honestly, after trying to do it yesterday, I kind of ended up losing interest. And I ended up deciding, like, we've had the Clone Wars intro throughout the entire month, and I've done no Clone Wars related stuff. The big trouble more than anything is, like, a lot of the Clone Wars games aren't great. So I ended up quickly downloading this game. So it kind of ended up being between this and Republic Heroes. And Republic Heroes on every platform has bad reviews. Like, it's negative reviews on everything. Which is interesting, I think. But I took a look at the PSP version and wasn't enthusiastic about it. I was like, I could do the PS3 version, which I have, and did a weekend one-off, and didn't really have any animosity towards, but I'd have to set the PS3 up for that, and I don't want to set the PS3 up. So here we go. LEGO Star Wars 3: The Clone Wars. For you, Ninja. Featuring all your favorite Clone Wars characters. There's Padme. There's Anakin. There's Admiral Yularen. So if this does interest you, Ninja, I am playing this on PC. You can easily pick it up. If it doesn't, you don't have to get it. And everything's fine. I will say this Kit Fisto model looks worse than the one that was in the original LEGO Star Wars. I do not like it. They're generally, I consider them to be reliable fun, honestly. They're all, for the most part, quite the same. The differences tend to be whatever franchise you're currently playing. I quite enjoy the LEGO Marvel games, LEGO DC games. LEGO DC Supervillains is still one of my favorite DC video games. I say that, but there's not a whole lot of competition, in all honesty. You've got Batman games, and then you've got, like, everything else DC games, and most of the everything else isn't very good. So... but it's fun, has a good story, and plays well enough. Characters. Where's Count Dooku moved to now? Lorum. Let's go after Asajj Ventress, though. The hidden enemy. So the good news about this, Ninja, is you won't have to worry about spoilers now. Because this only goes through the first 2 seasons of the series. Like I was saying earlier, I think the biggest issue with Clone Wars, like games based on the Clone Wars series, is that they're all very early on in the series. So they're all before the series starts getting really interesting. You're on Season 5, you're way ahead. The furthest we go is Savage Opress is an unlockable character. Has no story function, he's just an unlockable bonus character. Hello. Look, it's Commander Cody. Lone Trooper. Just give me something to break. You mean OG Battlefront 2? Yeah, there's various things in that sense, games that had elements of the Clone Wars in them, but I'm specifically at the moment talking about the Clone Wars TV series. The whole thing is awkwardly named. To make things more confusing. But there is a Star Wars game called The Clone Wars that came out a little after Episode 2. That isn't awful, it's mostly vehicular combat. Oh, I'm sorry, Cody. But like, actually based on the series, there's not a whole lot, and pretty much everything is like in the first couple of seasons. As well as there's 2 games on the DS, 2 games on the Wii, a game on the PSP. Public Heroes, which was on basically everything. This and the handheld versions. It's really nice that we can throw lightsabers now as Jedi. You couldn't do that in the previous Star Wars games. It's also clearly, like, a lot fancier and more developed than the previous LEGO Star Wars games, which is really nice. Yeah, get those 2 hearts. I think ultimately the biggest failing of the LEGO games as experiences is how they're so clearly co-op focused. To the point where you can noticeably feel like you have less fun with it if you are doing single player. That's still fun, you just feel like you'd be having more fun co-op. Right, well, I left Obi-Wan in there. Yeah, you end up generally, I think, doing better in this regard with the games that have original plot lines. Like the LEGO Batman games. LEGO Marvel superhero games, not LEGO Marvel Avengers. Because LEGO Marvel Avengers is very specifically based on the movies. Like, you've got the story to experience, which itself can be fun. I think. Like, those can be a lot more appealing to play through alone. I think what ends up being the biggest shame with all of these LEGO games at this point is how none of them have online co-op. They're all local only. Man, they just keep pouring through. There we go. There was a button. Yeah, if you enjoy the properties they've done original storylines for, those can be a lot of fun to go through even alone. Like I say, LEGO Marvel 1 is a really fun, grander scale Marvel adventure that uses like so many of the characters. LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2 is similarly enjoyable, though it has the restriction of not being allowed to use anything related to the X-Men or the Fantastic Four. There we go. If you're into 100% droid's head, you're saying? If you're into doing 100%, the LEGO games will take you quite a while. Which can be a good or bad thing, depending on how much you enjoy the game. Why do I need a Separatist droid's head to activate a Republic gunship? Oh, it's Ventress. We need a trophy. You know what? Yeah, not entirely unreasonable. Not entirely unbelievable. Yeah, if you have any interest in the LEGO idea, the idea of the LEGO games themselves, and you like Marvel, the easiest recommendation I can give you is absolutely just LEGO Marvel Superheroes. Should go pretty cheap now and is, like, so much fun. Has so much going on, so much to do in it. Really fun story. Has all your favorite Marvel characters. I've been meaning to replay it for a while, actually. Oh. You know, putting my lightsaber away would be a mistake. Now I have 2 lightsabers, Ventress. Oh, she took it back. Just smack her right back in the head with it. Anakin, defend yourself. Well, let's go break some more stuff. Oh. I think this might have been the first LEGO game to not get a full console port on PSP. Because LEGO games, LEGO Star Wars, like begin with LEGO Star Wars 2, the LEGO games, when they were ported to PSP, were the full console games, which was super cool at the time. And like, I still love how many full console ports the PSP got. It's over, Ventress. Anakin, help! She's coming to steal the lightsaber back. Yeah, so like stuff like the first Lego Batman was a full console port on PSP. Lego Indiana Jones. And like I've spoken about it numerous times. I'm still really enamored with the whole idea of just having a full console experience on a handheld. And the PSP, I feel, was like the first time that was really possible. It wasn't, like it absolutely wasn't, but it was the first time it was possible for me. And so I love the PSP for that. It's like, you want to talk about full console experiences on the go. I think the one that's best known to American gamers would probably be the Sega Nomad, which was literally a handheld Genesis that Sega released in like '95, which was insane. Super ahead of its time, but not fun or practical to play. But there was also the Turbo Express, which was a handheld TurboGrafx 16, which was more practical because the TurboGrafx games were cards. They were a lot easier to just carry around than the full Mega Drive cartridges. And there was the Game Boy Advance, which had Super Nintendo stuff on the go, but I never ended up actually having any Super Nintendo ports on Game Boy Advance, oddly enough. So for me, it was the PSP. Full console games on the go, plus PS1 compatibility, so PS1 on the go. It's over, Ventress. You sneaky bitch. Let's go, Anakin. Okay. You know, Anakin, for a second there, I was hoping she killed herself. Help me, Anakin. It's definitely a criticism I have of the older LEGO games in particular, that the second character, if they're not being controlled by somebody, will do nothing at all. Yeah, they're really there just for you to take control of and do more puzzle stuff with. But if you do have a second player, full co-op, a lot of fun. But if you don't, you can't rely on your second character. Okay, I see what I need to do. It might be from the movie. Here we go. Smack her back in the face with whatever she's throwing at us. Take her down, Anakin. Now I've got to destroy 10 super battle droids on this thing now. Something's gonna happen when I do. Probably a minikit. Can I not destroy super battle droids with a thrown lightsaber? Alright, there it is, a minikit. Sure is nice of those droids to come along with convenient stats. Up yours, Ventress. Eh. Of course she didn't die, she just was put into a situation where it looked like she was going to die, and then didn't. You know, as is the case with TV shows for kids. What do we got? Geonosis. Ambush. Well, we should probably go and deal with whatever Grievous is up to here. Duel of the Droids means that it's going to be that one episode from Season 1 that I absolutely remember and was never fond of. Which is a follow-up episode to when R2-D2 is captured out. And they've got that other droid that's actually secretly a Separatist spy. Oh, but this is also the first mission where we get to play as Ahsoka. And one clone trooper who just had the droid strapped to him. Well, Rex clearly said, fuck that droid. Just like you, Ninja. Today, the part of Captain Rex will be played by the Burpee Ninja. Ahsoka Tano. I don't like how little Ahsoka's wearing. And then Rex immediately died. Yeah, so this is the thing, like, remember how Ahsoka started off with her lightsaber stance being primarily a reverse grip? And then that changed, like, weirdly quickly. Oh yeah, the Umbara arc is a great arc. I believe I warned you about that arc. Good stuff. But yeah, because of when this game came out, this will be young Ahsoka before she became, like, one of the better characters. That there. She gets better, like, quickly enough. I'd say midway through Season 2, she stopped being really annoying. Like, all the really annoying moments are gone by that point, I think. Before that, she's definitely a case of a character who's written very clearly to appeal to kids. So she's kind of the snot-nosed brat who's pretty much always turns out to be right. And they start, like, having her make mistakes. like make mistakes and suffer consequences for them, and that leads to her getting better. She gets to have character growth. And so in the end, as a result, it's not that she's an annoying character early on, it's that she just hasn't experienced character growth yet, which is really good. And then she experiences character growth and becomes one of the best characters. It was always a difficult case when the Clone Wars started, of like, how do you make us interested in a character like Ahsoka, who most likely is going to die when Episode 3 rolls around? Because the Great Jedi Purge. And so it felt like at the start, they didn't try and make her appeal to the viewers. But I think it's more a case of like a slow burn. Something you don't really expect from a series that starts the way the Clone Wars does. Because you don't expect a series that starts like that to actually have character growth. You expect it to start and end each episode with a status quo. But no, there are like, moments of growth that she has even before you get to season 3 and it becomes like the best thing ever. More than anything, I think. Early on, it is just a case of she's playing a young teenage character in a situation that probably shouldn't have teenage characters, but it's also pre-established that teenage characters were a thing at that point anyway. So she does have to be there. Like, once that character growth kicks in, they let her make mistakes and she suffers consequences for them. Like, that does help things get a lot better. I think it was just easy to dislike the character early on because you never expected that character growth to ever happen. Astromech, you're up. Awesome. We'll get to it, Ninja. If you want a fun little thing... In fact, actually, if you want something to do when we come to the ad break, Ninja, that might be of interest to you, look up what the LEGO figurines for the Clone Wars sets look like. Because they revised the designs before the game was released. Originally there was a different, more horrifying design that was really just not appealing. Because they were trying to appeal to the Clone Wars look. You know, while still being LEGO. Okay, that's concerning. Alright, 2 down. Another protocol droid, though. I think one thing that's kind of funny. No, I don't believe so. I think it's just his style. What works best for him, and he proves himself to be really good with them. Ultimately, it's probably more than anything a marketing decision. Gives him another reason to stand out from the rank and file clones. But yeah, one thing I think is kind of funny is because episode 3 very specifically makes a point that when Anakin meets Grievous in that movie, it's the first time meeting face to face. They have to do a bunch of messing around in the Clone Wars whenever Anakin and Grievous are anywhere near each other to make sure they don't actually meet. And it's kind of funny. He locked the doors and opened the other doors and brought a load of droids in. The traitorous little bastard. Alright, let's go, Rex. Rex, you're up. I think one thing I'd be kind of curious to know, in that sense of like, oh, why does Rex only use pistols? Probably a marketing thing. One thing I'd be kind of curious to know with the Clone Wars, why specifically a Togruta for Ahsoka? It's like, okay, make her not human, specifically for the Star Wars appeal. I wonder specifically why they went with Togruta. Right, there we go. Get him, Rex. Yeah, it's definitely something that was an issue early on. That Grievous was really just a joke. Because, like, Grievous's entire introduction to Star Wars was that he murders, like, 5 Jedi. Well, building that Golden Super Battle Droid was definitely a good idea. Oh wow, good work. Didn't expect that. But yeah, there's definitely a big difference in the presentation of specific characters. How they were in the original Clone Wars series versus the second CG Clone Wars series. I think Asajj Ventress is a good comparison as well. The duel she has with Anakin on Yavin 4 in the original Clone Wars series is insane. Especially in comparison with, like, how they treat her in the CG series early on. All the characters get better. What am I doing with this? Oh, really? What am I doing with this? Okay. Honestly, it may surprise you to learn, but I felt like the Gungans capturing Grievous was such a good idea. And, like, if it had happened later in the series, it would have felt like it had actual clout. Because the Gungans are, even from their original appearance in Episode 1, they're portrayed as a military-focused race. And their big thing is specifically damaging to droids. It's like, you know, that felt like it made a lot of sense. I liked it. The trouble is, it happens early on in the series, so it feels like it's just appealing to the kids more than it is like being a good idea. But the idea is good. And I'll defend it all the time. And the fact that it has a lasting consequence with the death of Captain Tarpals, I think helps it. Yeah, it's not gonna stick. It was never going to stick. And it's part of the problem of having, like, the series as an interquel. Because we know where we end. And it's not there. It's like I said when we were doing Jedi Survivor, when I was talking about The Force Unleashed. Yeah. It's like, we know where these characters end. It's like, we're not going to end this game with us defeating Vader and, like, teabagging the Emperor, because we know where they die. And I think it's why, like, it's a big part of the reason why I hold midway through Season 3 as the beginning of when Clone Wars becomes something absolutely fantastic. Because it starts focusing more on those characters who aren't guaranteed to survive. And I think that makes it a lot more interesting. Hey, how you doing, Peach? Go away. Unfortunately, I have an ad break about to come up. I don't have the ad button. This is the issue with me playing PC games that don't have borderless full screen. If I click out of it to run the ad manually, this is going to, like, shut down the game. But yeah, like I said though, Ninja, while this ad's going, check out the original look for the Lego figurines for this game, which were closer to the way that the the style looks in the Clone Wars. It's kind of interesting. But we are going to have a quick break, and we'll be right back. The seconds. Doing all right, thank you. Hope you're having a good time.
No, I am your father.
It's over, Anakin! I have the high ground!
Welcome back. You're having a better day than yesterday because we're here today, Ninja. No technical issues. Mecha-chrono is here to distract you from your problem, as I have done too many times for you in the past. Just one more. One more. There we go. Let's go! Magna Guards. Gotcha. Wish these guys would stop spawning. Anyway, let's go. Where's R2? I had beans earlier. Pork chop and beans. Beans is heavy. Careful. There we go. Always try and make sure I don't have beans when I'm doing anything that requires any level of movement afterwards, because beans sit quite heavily. R2! Yeah. Let's go, R2. We put R2 back together, and what's the first thing he does? He blows the base up. Good old R2-D2. Violent sociopath if there ever was one. Yeah, they took him apart. The bastards. So how are you doing, Peach? Didn't really have time to ask before the ad. And Rex is okay.
Let it go. Let it go.
But where's Ahsoka? That little bastard. You're gonna take that, are you, R2? And Ahsoka looks pissed. Excellent. Let's hear it, Peach. .3PO contributed. The problem is that 3PO did more audible complaining than anything else. They still did him dirty in the sequel trilogy, though. .3PO didn't stumble into greatness, 3PO was kidnapped into greatness. Because, like, let's be fair, Anakin, like, repairs and constructs 3PO. And then leaves 3PO with his mother. 10 years later, Anakin comes back. 3PO is now, like, fully covered in a proper chassis. And Anakin just kind of steals him. Oh, hey. That's a lot of good studs. By that point, 3PO didn't belong to Anakin. So Anakin steals 3PO, then gives him to Padme as a wedding gift. Again, not his. I need to work out what we're doing for my birthday stream this year. Because I believe we will be having a birthday stream. Let's go, R2. Get him, R2. Get him. Absolute coward of a droid. This is a lot of enemies. And yet Grievous ran away like a coward. Use the Force. Stab it in the head. I don't think this is how it works, but yeah, why not? Fine, don't worry about it. Yeah, by the end of like Season 2, you start to question why Grievous is in charge of the droid army. Because he's done nothing but fail. Go. Go on, R2. Kick his ass. As far as R2-D2 is concerned, there will be no survivors. You know what? I have a better idea. That's right, I'm gonna die. That'll show him. This thing isn't putting anything out anymore. On them, do not. Miss them, do not. Well, later, boys. Rex, get off the ship. Rex, get off the ship. Go on, R2. Kick him off the edge. I'm coming, R2. You notice how they conveniently didn't show who was flying the Jedi Starfighter? Ahsoka Tano. R3S6. R2D2. Captain Rex. Alright, now we have to decide who we're going after next. We're going after General Grievous some more. We're going after Asajj Ventress some more. Or are we going after Count Dooku again? Let's go after Count Dooku. The Gungan General. Anakin and Obi-Wan are held prisoner by the infamous Hondo and his band of space pirates on the planet of Florin. The Senate and Jedi High Council meet to decide who they should send to negotiate the Jedi's release. But the devious pirates have been making plans of their own. Hondo Ohnaka, you son of a bitch. They didn't mention that Hondo also captured Count Dooku. Oh, it's Jar Jar Binks. You gotta love how as the Clone Wars series went on, Palpatine became less and less subtle about being the most evil character. It's like, yeah, who are we gonna send? We'll send Jar Jar. Why? Because he will fuck this up. Now we're gonna do Jar Jar combat. Dun 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 dun. You ever heard the tale of Darth Plagueis the Wise? No. Not the stories the Jedi were telling. Yeah, because it's about a Sith. Look out, Jar Jar's coming at him with these hands. Everyone thinks Jar Jar's a joke until he takes apart a spider droid with his bare hands. This is going to be rough, I can feel it. Yeah, I just need a Darth Jar Jar mod. Right, got Clone Trooper, Commander Stone. Everybody's just questioning, like, why do all the battle reports say Jar Jar took out a spider droid with his bare hands? Why do some of the clone troopers like, have Jar Jar markings on their helmets now? Like, what's going on with this? I think we're getting anywhere with that. It says use proton torpedoes to destroy the power towers, but I'd need something to launch them from. That'll do. Okay, I figured out how to steal the vehicles. Now, come on, get back in. Did they remotely destroy the vehicle? Those bastards. Yeah, the clones have blasters, which makes them, like, actually more useful. You know, despite the memes. God damn it. I don't like that. I don't like that as an idea. There's a thing around here. What does it do? Oh, it shuts off the shield there. It's good. It was a good thing. We wanted that. Hey, here we go. I'll get in there. Okay, so it takes 4. Oh, this one. Is this going to give me the same trouble? Well, we won't find out now. Well, that didn't work out. Stop destroying the bikes. I need them. Fire. Alright, excellent. That's honestly kind of irritating. Oh, excellent. What do you think of Onimusha 2? Yep. Yeah, I'm not as into it as 1 and 3. Some people consider it their favorite, and it's like, that's fine. It's absolutely got reasons to love it. I don't. Yeah, shield down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think in terms of its scope, it's a lot better than the first one. Like, it really is. I think 3 is the real refinement of the series. And now I'm worried they're just never going to put out Onimusha 3 HD. Because the time to do it would have been like to promote the new game. I don't know, maybe next year before the new game comes out. But I do generally recommend absolutely going for the 3rd game as well. At the very least, finish off the Nobunaga trilogy. No, I've never been as into 2 as I am 1 and 3. Conceptually, it's really cool. Yeah, I think it's a lot like a lot of the NES games in that regard, of how so many of the sequels do interesting things, but when the third game goes back to the basics and just heavily refines the basics. Alright, thanks for joining us, Peach. You have yourself a good night and you take care. We're playing as Plo Koon. We'll catch you next time, kid. But yeah, Onimusha 3, like, you prefer the simplicity of 1, Onimusha 3 is very much that. Like, it's the simplicity refined. Think like Castlevania 1 to Castlevania 3. OG Zelda to A Link to the Past. Like, it's the idea refined. No messing around. The whole idea of switching between the 2 characters sounds like it'll be a problem, and like... The whole thing of, modern, like the time travel and the modern day sections, all sounds like a bad idea. It works really well. Yeah, I'm not fond of the affinity system. Well, you gotta let people form their own opinions. Yeah, Onimusha 3 is my jam. It goes back to being linear with like minor side paths you can go down. If anything, it's more linear than the first game, which doesn't end up feeling like a bad thing. It feels like it's creating more of its own identity. While you can feel when you play the original Onimusha that it is still tied to the idea of Sengoku Biohazard. The weapon variety is really cool. The return of Samanosuke is great. There's a lot of reasons I really like 3. And at this point, I would recommend, like, emulating it. Mostly just because we don't know if we're actually going to get a HD release of it. And if we do and you like 3, you can buy it. I'll be honest, I don't like any of the Nobunaga fights. Fortinbras works better. I'll agree with that. Largely, I think, because of the limits of the controls. Let's be fair, tank control boss fights have never been great. And like I've spoken before about my belief of why Resident Evil boss fights aren't great, and like why some work better than others, and how what's the difficulty of the final boss of almost every Resident Evil? It's that it moves fast. And it's like RE1, you fought the Tyrant, and the Tyrant's not a difficult fight. And then you do the final Tyrant fight, and it is difficult. Why? Because it moves fast. RE2, you do all the Birkin fights, and he's not a difficult fight. Until the final dog phase, where he is a difficult fight because he moves fast. Mr. X, not difficult until the final fight where he moves fast. Nemesis, kind of difficult from the get-go because he can move fast. So Fortinbras being very stationary helps that. Helps deal with that. It becomes pattern-based, and so you can learn to move around it. It helps that Onimusha's movement controls are a lot freer than Resident Evil's. But it all changes with Nobunaga. I think, fortunately, like I do think you will really enjoy Onimusha 3. Which, you know, I'd be glad of, because I really enjoy Onimusha 3. If you are unconvinced, let me know and I will show you Onimusha 3. Like, we'll do a one-on-one session. I will just pull you into a Discord call and I will show you Onimusha 3. Dawn of Dreams is its own thing. Like, if you go through Onimusha 3 and decide you want more, Dawn of Dreams, Onimusha 4, technically, is very much its own thing. And I will neither like, give you encouragement or discouragement to play Onimusha Dawn of Dreams. Yeah, I feel like 2 bites off a little more than it can chew. It's interesting, but I don't think it all comes together as well. But again, like, I've spoken to people who really love Onimusha 2, and I've got no interest in taking that away from them. And it's why I think the comparison to the NES games is really apt. Like Castlevania 2, like Zelda 2, like Final Fantasy 2, like Mario 2. Don't fucking at me about the Lost Levels. Like, they try something new, and whether it works or not isn't the point. They end up going back to the original idea with 3 and heavily refining it. Alright, I guess I'm gonna shoot a proton torpedo in there. And it's like, even after going through Castlevania 3 and the time we had with that, I do genuinely still think Castlevania 3 is the best of the NES trilogy. It has the refinements, it expands, it does everything Castlevania 1 does, but better. And ultimately, the only major complaint I have with it over the original is probably its length, more than anything else. But it's neither here nor there. The entire point is that Onimusha 3 is the refinement of the first game. Plo Koon. Anakin's Starfighter. Plo Koon's Starfighter. But yeah, given that there's no indication of when or if we'll get an Onimusha 3 HD, my recommendation would be to just emulate it. And it will... God, this is the first episode of the Clone Wars TV series. Yoda goes to meet the Toydarians. Yeah, it will emulate better than the first two games, I think. Because unlike the first two games, Onimusha 3 doesn't use pre-rendered backgrounds. It's fully 3D, so it'll upscale cleaner. Welcome in, Clem. She's gonna do a sweet rave number. Oh good, Yoda controls better than he did in Complete Saga. Because let me tell you, Episode 3 becomes one of my least favourite games. Least favourite set of levels in the Complete Saga. Because you have to play as Yoda and he just controls so poorly. Alright, thanks for popping in, Clem. You take care of yourself and have yourself a good time in DC. So I've played some of the PSP version, and the PSP version follows a more traditional level structure. So this is the first level, because of course it would be. because it's the first episode of the TV series. I feel like unless you're specifically playing a lightsaber character, this game doesn't really work as well as the complete saga. Because it feels like everybody who isn't a lightsaber character has such trouble dealing with super battle droids. Which one are you? Right, alright. It's odd considering that, like, after LEGO Star Wars 2, because the original trilogy had less characters with lightsabers, they made characters with blasters have more variety in use. And given how much focus there would inevitably be in this game on clone characters, it's odd that blasters are just kind of useless here. There's definitely something that the LEGO games would have gotten better on. Having more characters be generally useful, while also giving them variety. Again, like the LEGO Marvel stuff ends up being really fun for a lot of that. I'm not overly sure how I feel about this one so far. I feel like the spread out levels isn't necessarily a good idea. Maybe if I approach it like Lego Batman, which does something similar. And the original Lego Batman gives you 3 episodes to go through, each one with a different main villain. The Riddler, Penguin, and Joker. Maybe if I approach it like that, focusing on one villain instead of switching between the 3, it'd feel better. So it could very well just be my issue. Though this whole thing with like regular characters not seeming to be able to deal with super battle droids is kind of frustrating. Okay, so now I'm gonna have to push this droid under some of the rocks, which feels really finicky. Like I died so much at this specific point now, that I'm run out of studs. Don't go back. Why didn't that seem to count earlier? Well, there goes the Star Wars Brand Trust. Until next week. No. Nothing's happening. We can play it again for you if you want it. We've got the ad about to come up anyway. So yeah, that was it. So what we'll do is we'll run this ad, and this will be the last ad. Come back, we'll do a couple more levels and wrap up. This is the kind of thing I... but yeah.
You thunder against me? You have done that yourself.
And we're back.
You have failed me for the last time.
This one has a rocket launcher. Ooh. Do that again. Can Ahsoka deflect it? No. This would be this would absolutely be the way I would just like break everything to get studs. All right. Is this the plague one? Yeah, it is. All right, let's focus on like one pathway for a while. Let's go back to Grievous. And the malevolence. However, Padme Amidala is about to stick a nose in something. It's stick a nose in somewhere it absolutely isn't going to help. Plus that, Padme demanding that she's just as good as everybody else, even though she's not, and is getting her in trouble and causing problems again. Honestly, like, you can complain about Jar Jar when he appears in, like, early seasons of the Clone Wars, but the character I always hated seeing appear in Season 1 and Season 2 was Padme. Always. She got better later on when the writing got better. But, like, early on, Like, her doing the political stuff was genuinely interesting. Like, there's the episode where she's, in talks with the Separatists. Which also, like, helps expand that the Separatists, you know, a lot of the ideals are specifically about, no, the Republic is corrupt and we don't want to be a part of it. It's not that they're just evil, it's that the leaders are all evil because they're led by Dooku. And so that was an interesting idea. But early on, when Padme has to be like action lady, it's just, she's not fun, she's not an enjoyable character. And it's always like, you're a senator. You're a senator in a war. Like, maybe don't go around trying to do things alone. On a galactic scale, in specific conflict. Ugh. Again, like, for me, the big character that started badly and got better. What am I throwing my lightsaber at? Those two? Oh, the tower itself. Yeah. Well, it's stuff like that and stuff like the level that just opened up for Asajj Ventress, the blue shadow virus. And it's stuff that exists, like, especially in the early season. She doesn't exist to be a character. She exists to make Anakin angsty. And so whenever she's in the plot in the early seasons, Anakin is also like one of the worst characters. What am I doing with this? What am I doing with this? You know, I was wondering if it'd be that. But in my head I was like, no, the answer can't be something that the thing that I'm in is covering. Like, surely the thing they would want me to grab wouldn't be behind the thing that I'm in. Because that's just bad design. No, that's exactly what it was. What does this do? Oh, there was a floor there? And then 3PO? 3PO, why'd you only have one leg? There we go. Oh no, he still moves just as slowly. That was my mistake. Yeah, there's pretty much since about when we went on break. It's frustrating. Yeah, if it doesn't recover, we're gonna have to end it after this level. Which is particularly frustrating because, like, it only happened after we started going on break. Yeah. My internet's doing better than it was yesterday. I thought I'd fixed it. Nope, here we are again. Frustrating as well, because like you get so far, you get into the stream, and then it's all like, nope, do this anymore. Well, I'm sorry, I thought I was in the middle of something. Yeah. And it's just not recovered since. The fact that it's not recovered is odd. And, like, particularly frustrating. It really puts a dampener on my mood as well. Alright, let's go, R2. Oh, it's Grievous. He's got a gun. Okay. Oh, does he want to actually fight now? Nope. Pull the switch. What do we get? One side open. Alright. So that's a little trick that's worked since the first LEGO Star Wars. You just have an astromech roll up to a droideka. They won't target the astromech even if you're controlling it and you don't have a player 2. And using the astromech's attack, you can just deactivate the shield and stun them. Droidekas aren't difficult enough to deal with that it's necessary, but it's a cool little idea. Try that again. Nope. This time we ran away. Why would they expect me to want to play as 3PO instead of Padme? "3PO, get out of my way." And green at the bottom. Okay, free minikit for it. I wasn't paying attention, I forgot they have to do this. The protocol droid stuff. Play as somebody who can actually move at a reasonable pace now. I don't like those as a concept. Like, they're so basic to begin with. Like, ultimately, what's the point of them? And just have it be like using the astromech droid. Use the button and it activates the thing. That feels like it's going to be dangerous. Oh, I get what I'm doing. Get the ship on a crash course. Am I supposed to keep using it? Oh, I don't think this is doing anything. Okay. Rain still hasn't recovered. I wonder how narratively satisfying these are for somebody who doesn't know what's actually... Like, doesn't have the context of the episodes of the show. Because it feels like they don't explain anything anywhere near enough. And you can't really have the same broad strokes like a movie does. Like the first LEGO Star Wars had. Alright. Let's take a look at what characters we can buy. We can't buy any. Lair of Grievous. That's probably the Kit Fisto one with his apprentice. But given that the stream still hasn't actually recovered, and we're still just constantly dropping frames, we should probably just end it. Neat that there's so much to do around the ship. That didn't work out. Oh, red brick. So these aren't in a menu, they're just hidden around the ship then. Not sure how I feel about that. Like, there's positives and negatives to it. Just like, as soon as we have 10 million studs, we can just buy that and multiply our score by 6. Rather than having to find that in a level, which means like there's a specific point where we can actually get it. But that also means gotta find what you're after first. Can I just jump into this? Oh, what are we doing? What's over here? Is this a red brick? Okay. Wasn't expecting this. Oh, there's a red brick. Oh. I can bike out Dooku. Honestly, that's actually a really interesting way of setting up the hub world. I kind of like it. Hub world to explore, characters to defeat, to unlock them. Honestly, a really cool idea. Cad Bane. Huh. Yeah, I like this. That's really cool. Really cool idea. But that is going to have to do it for us because getting nothing. The stream at this point. Always frustrating. Tomorrow is the final. And I think Star Wars Month has been like a bigger success this year. Also just in like how much we've gained in a new file. But that's not why I do this. I do this for my own enjoyment. And I've had a good amount of fun doing this. So aim to be back tomorrow with more of Lego Star Wars 3 The Clone Wars. Hopefully we can do it. I really don't want it to be another case of like the year of PlayStation, where like the big day that it was meant for, we couldn't stream because my internet just wasn't fucking working. That was infuriating. Stream nothing but PlayStation for a whole year to celebrate the 30th anniversary, and on the specific day that is the 30th anniversary, my internet's just shit. That was absolutely maddening. So like, I hope like the last stream of Star Wars Month runs better than that, and we'll wrap up the Clone Wars. But that's really all there is to say. I want to thank everybody for joining the stream. I always really appreciate the support. Big special thank you to everybody in chat. Chat is always the best part of the stream. Ninja, Peach, thanks so much for joining me, and Clem. Chat is always the best part of the stream. Again, we're back tomorrow with the last stream of Star Wars Month. And then when we return, we'll be back to the regularly scheduled video games. Tales of Vesperia, and we'll be beginning Lord of Shadow when Castlevania returns. Following Tales of Vesperia, I want to take a bit of a break from the Wheel of Games, because there's a few things that I want to do specifically. And I've decided, like, I'm going to use the wheel when I don't know what to do. If there's something I specifically want to do, I'm going to do that. But yeah, that is it. So there's not really anything else to say except thank you all for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic time of day. And take care. We'll catch you next time, guys. Bye.
Now, young Skywalker, you will die.